Good evening, Central Indiana. Welcome to Porch Time Live from Casey's Golf Studio. Saturday night edition. Just chilling. No real. I don't know. White light is really reflecting off my glasses. Wonder if I could do this. I guess it don't matter. It don't matter. How we doing out there? Saturday night. It is a gorgeous evening. I will do this since I have radar pulled up. There's your front, and no severe weather, no panic mode or anything like that. But this is the heat line. Heat's getting pushed south, less humid, more livable temperatures moving in for a week or so. These storms, they weren't severe to begin with, and they really fizzled out heading south. So we're probably right on top of the front right now, or close to it. And temperatures should get way more comfortable moving forward over the next few days. And no more heat and humidity. It's going to be warm. Upper 80s, mid 80s to upper 80s. Some chilly nights, though. There was not chilly, don't get me wrong. I thought I saw low 60s, upper 50s one night, which would be cool. But I was in studio and I was thinking about, okay, fair's over. Tough truck competition's probably just ending up over there now. And what's next? Well, we always have something going on around here. 4th of July was canceled and moved to the 24th of the month. So 24th of the month, we have the 4th of July fireworks at the city park. Music, fireworks, food. So that's still coming up this month. Then we roll into football season right off the bat in August. High school football, college football, and eventually professional football. I'm more excited about high school and college, of course. And that gets us into August. School starts. September, you got Labor Day coming up, and concerts are everywhere and fun times. And we shoot towards October 8th through 11th at the fairgrounds. Hello, Mr. Fields. 8th through 11th. 8th through the 11th at the fairgrounds, the Morgan County Fall Foliage. So that's kind of next. Hello, Joe. So Fall Foliage, 8th through 11th, that's coming up. We got the fireworks at the end of this month. Of course, you got Labor Day. And then we got the big trunk or treat on 25th of October. So boom, boom, boom. It just keeps coming, and it's the years zipping by. One thing I want to remember before I forget and announce on here, tomorrow at the Ball Diamonds, Martinsville Artesian Little League had a state champion in district. They won the state. These girls did 16U. They are having a fundraiser to go to Nat Regionals down in Lawrenceburg. And for the whole week, it's like $15,000. So they're raising as much money as they possibly can to make it easy on the families. So there's ways to be sponsors. Send them money. If you go to Artesian Little League, it's all over their webpage. But tomorrow, they had one today at 1915. But tomorrow at the Ball Diamonds, they're doing a home run hitting contest. They're doing a fastest pitch contest. Or time your pitch contest. They're doing a dunk tank. They have good stuff to sell and everything. I want to say 1 to 5. And if any of them's on here, correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm going to try to go over there and go live at some point in time. So that'll be fun. And it's a good. I had them in studio just last night. Good bunch of kids. And it's never happened in our community. We've never had a state champion from Artesian Little League through district and all that stuff. So they won their district, they won the state, and now they're on the regionals. They win the regionals, they go to the nationals in Delaware, which is our World Series is what it's called, which is crazy. And these girls are good. They were beating the tar off people. So can't wait to see them play down in Lawrenceburg next week. It starts next Tuesday night. So they'll be sending me scores, and maybe we can announce a win on Bibles for Dummy Tuesday night. But I want to get that out there. So come on over to the Ball Diamonds tomorrow. Even if you're donating $10. So think of 100 people donating $10. That's going to help them out. It's a lot of money for an entire week away from work, away from home, staying in hotels and living on fast food. Hello, Wanda. So lots of things coming up, lots of goings-ons in the community, and watching this front slide south of us. There's your front line right here. This is oppressive heat down here, and this is cooler, drier air sliding in to Morgan County as we speak. None of these were severe today. Some gusty wind reports over here. There was one severe down in Kentucky, but we had that heavy rain move through earlier. That's about all you get with these, a gust of wind and a little bit of heavy rain. So that's all that's going on there. Not anything to go live over on the weather, which I was kind of glad. We hadn't done that for a while, and I'm good with that, because there for a while we were live every night with tornadoes. And I'm not big on that. So went and got the beard trimmed, haircut. Young lady at Great Clips. I don't know if you know her. Hannah, I think it's Hannah Hillenbrand. Phenomenal job. Amazing gal. I try to connect with the people that are cutting my hair, because I have cowlicks everywhere. Very difficult head to cut. And she did a phenomenal job. Just it's kind of the way I like it. You trim my beard up perfectly. So hats off to Hannah from Great Clips, and you can stop in there when she's working and say, hey, Kevin shouted you out on Porch Time. Because she asked who I was. They all do when you go in there. What do you do? And blah, blah, blah. And so I told her, she's like, I know you. So good gal, young lady, and did a wonderful job. So giving her a shout out tonight. And I like the beard trimmed way down like this. It just feels so much better. Corey is off on vacation. He is down in the great state of Tennessee, enjoying it down there. A well-deserved break. That guy works his butt off. He's way down here somewhere in this area. Looks like they're not getting any rain now, but we got through the fair, and there were some hot days, brother. Some really hot days out there. I'm waiting to hear from Seth. I don't know how those guys do it. 59, I know at 39 I could do it, but I don't know how the heck I survive weeks like that out there, and playing ball in it, and just craziness. When you get older and you can't breathe when you're out there in it, you're like, I want to go home and sit in the air conditioning. And so that's what we did a bunch of times. But it was fun. I posted about my brother and his stories, and me and him had his kids last night, and that's 100% true. We look forward to the fair every year. It was our hello Ruth. It was our getaway. It was our vacation, and we saved bottles and cans and cut grass and shoveled sidewalks and whatever we could to save money so we could go spend it at the fair. And so every year, that's what we did, and we had fun with it. And it was magical to us. There's a lot of kids in town that resonates with, because that's all we had. We didn't go to Florida, Kings Island. First time I went to Kings Island, I was after I was married. But that was our Super Bowl of fun, as I said last night. And it's not the same with him being gone. And there's been a couple of his co-workers come over and stop and talk to me when we were out there. I'm like, man, it's just not the same. And I said, oh, trust me. I didn't want to tear up in front of him. I have to sneeze. Excuse me. I said, trust me, I know what you're saying. Hello, Stacy. It's just not the same. Me and him had a connection out there like brothers did. And every year and it's 9:30 on a Saturday. I can say this. I didn't go into detail. I ain't blinking going out there. That's a bunch of blah blah blah. And next thing you know, I'd be getting a text or a phone call. Hey, we're going to eat at the pork tent or the steak tent. Come join us if you want. And he'd spend hours out there at the booth with me, walking by. I'd had water for him. Always gave water to the officers. And I don't know. I always thought it was funny. He'd cuss and say he wasn't going. I'm like, okay, whatever. Whatever, I'll see you out there. And sure enough, he'd show up, and he loved it. He loved it every year, despite his grumblings. He would show up and do what he loved best. He'd stay out there till midnight or later. Hello, Jay. How you doing, sir? And we enjoy it. I enjoy going out there, and I think it's a vital part of our community. It's a big social event, yes, but it's good. It's good for the 4-H kids. It's good for the kids in the community, and it makes the heart smile for a lot of us. I know a lot of people, not a lot, but some people just ball humbug it, and that's fine. It may not be for everyone, but for this kid and my brother, it was, and we enjoyed it. And I look forward to it every year, even though it's not the same feel for me. I still go back, and I will always go back. Good Lord willing. I'm doing okay, Jay. Just kind of a boring Saturday night, and we needed a boring Saturday night, as busy as we've been around here. I know the tough truck's going on right now. I went over and took down the booth earlier, right before the heavy rain hit. But I know there's a lot of folks sleeping in their own bed for the first time in a week or so. And I know Seth will be happy to go home tonight and not have an event planned for tomorrow. Those people out there, I cannot say how much I appreciate what they do. That is a lot of work. One gal, it just strikes me funny when you post something, especially on my comment, because I want to look. I'm telling you now, I look. I try to stay engaged. And when you say everything's big business and big corporations in the tent, and I don't care for that, I don't need that, I'm like, wait a minute. I've been in that tent 8 years. And I know almost every booth down there. And at least 80-90% are local vendors, are businesses, are church related. Every one of them. And so I replied that. And she's like, oh, well, but I don't need this, and this. I get that, but that's not what your statement started with. Which saying that you don't want to go because there's all corporations. And there's a few. And why not? You want to sell, you're selling spots. And if you offered it to everybody in the county and there's 6 spots open, why not? But 80-90% easily are local vendors, churches or businesses, some political. I think I said churches, church-related businesses, vendors, or organizations or something like that. And that is a fact. And I've been in that tent at least 8 years, probably more. And I've probably spoken to everyone in that tent at some point in time, or had most of them on camera. So I kind of know who's in there. And I just, some people, I don't know. You don't want to go, you don't want to go. If you don't want to go because maybe your budget doesn't fit the fair, which, trust me, our budget didn't fit the fair for a long time when we was kids. That's why we were getting bottles and cans, because mom and dad weren't paying for us to go to the fair. Simple as that. So if you can't go budget-wise and things like that, I get it. 100%, I respect that more than anything. But if you're telling me because it's corporate takeover and this and that, and okay, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but it just strikes me funny because I can take my cell phone and go to the messages and look at the top of the messages, and what does it say? It says Google Messages. You going to throw away your phone and not text anymore? Anyway, Hello, Mary. Hello, Mike. Big day of concerts around here. You had the Barry Manilow tribute at the Met down at Truesdale, probably still going on. You had a Kiss tribute band and a kind of a grunge band. If you've never been to Truesdale, it's a pretty good setup down there in Spencer, between Spencer and Ellisville, but right by the McCormick's Creek State Park entrance. You hang a left and go back in the country a little ways. Pretty good location. That was this weekend. I'm not for sure what's coming up. I know there's concerts coming up, and I'll go over it again. But as we turn the corner from the fair, now you start looking towards school, and you got football coming up. You get first of all, we got the 4th of July on the 24th. So boom, that happens, and then you got football and the school opening back up, college and high school, and then eventually NFL, and then we roll into September. You got Labor Day weekend, which is always a big weekend. Lots of concerts, cookouts. Hello, Jeff. And then, of course, we roll into October 8th to the 11th at the fairgrounds will be the fall foliage this year. And then shortly after that is the trunk or treat at the fairgrounds as well. So we're going to be spending some time at the fairgrounds this year. Trunk or treat. You're going to start hearing more about it. It's time for us to get it rolling. And I'm excited. We had so much fun last year. Guesstimated 5,000 kids, 5,000 people. Mike was still at the concert downtown. Glad you got to go, Mikey. So yeah, we are going to try to improve the trunk or treat from last year. We have so many people involved that just love the aspect of Halloween and doing what we did. And we cannot wait for this year. Can we duplicate what we caught lightning in the bottle last year? I'm going to say no. And I'm not saying it to say it was fluke and we could never do it again. Because it wasn't. It was incredible. We had 5,000 plus people in a monsoon with tornado warnings going off around us and lightning and thunder and all sorts of crap. And we still had 5,000 people. They wouldn't leave. But that's just fell out of my eyeball. That's tough. That's going to be tough to beat. That's going to be tough to maintain. There's going to be some people that don't want to come, a good time, bad time, whatever they had last year. And maybe some that didn't come last year will come. But that's going to be hard to beat. But we're going to try. I hope we do. If it's not raining, we have a chance to do even more than we did last year. Because we have so much stuff we wanted to do last year that we could not. Because it was literally monsooning out. And I mean, pouring down rain like it was here today for like 2 hours. Everyone was soaked. Buddy, they stayed in line. The line was from the merchant's tent out to the hospital drive. Packed. And no one left. They stayed in line. Everybody was orderly. I didn't even think about security. We just kind of watched out for each other. But I mean, we could have needed security. That's how many people were there. But everybody was well maintained, well behaved, cordial, down one side, out the other, out the tent, into the other booth, boom, boom, done. Food vendors were happy. The lemonade kid texted me that night. If you do this again next year, I'm all in again. I was like, we got you. You're here. You were part of the first one. You'll be asked back. Hello, Shelley. So it was a really good time, and we had a lot of fun, and we had a lot of good folks involved. And it was also for two great causes. So we're going to work that in again this year. We have several ideas on which direction to go. So just going to have to wait and see, but we're going to start getting that rolling. You're going to start seeing some posts, some comments, direction we're going with it. But it is October 25th, I believe 5 to 9 again. But we want everybody in there by 5, and we want people coming through about 6 to start. And about 8:30 last year is when it ended. Everyone was running out of candy. there was a person there. There was a group of people that had purchased $1,000 worth of candy, and they were out of candy a little bit after 7. They sent someone to go eat more candy, and were done by 8. That's insane. There were kids walking around there with 2 bags, 2 pillowcases full of candy. And I'm telling you, I don't care what Guinness says. Whoever has we have the record. Martinsville has a record for the largest trunk or treat in the history of the United States. And it was last year at our fairgrounds. We had over 300 cars. And we're going to try to beat that this year. Now that we have a good game plan and idea on what we're doing, we didn't have a damn idea what we were doing last year. We just ran out there and I told them, porch time rule number 1, keep pushing forward, because only the people in this room know how it's supposed to go and how it's going. And if you make a mistake, keep moving forward. We'll discuss it later. And that's what we did. We had mistakes. We adjusted on the fly. We didn't realize it was monsoon season. But we did. We persevered. We conquered. And nobody got hurt. I had one lady that was part of a Jeep club, and she was upset because they were outside and they got there late. I told them, come early. If you want a spot inside, you got to come early. Well, they got there late, and then I said, you can set up in the showroom, right in the showroom. And they had already set up outside, and they got drenched. And she said, I'm not doing this again. I said, well, move down. She goes, oh, we're done. Okay. I'm not mad. I get it. But you could have moved down, or some people did. And we're going to make sure that's a point of emphasis, that there's going to be 2 or 3 different locations to take your child to get candy. And we want you to hit them all. We can start out this path through the merchant's tent, down around, into the swine barn, and down around, and then into the showroom. And then you can do whatever you want. You can get food. You can hang out. Hello, Shelly Martin. You can do whatever you want. But there's a few adjustments we're going to make, and we're going to have some different things this year. Some fun stuff. We're looking at a hayride, weather permitting. Maybe a haunted house, weather permitting. But it was phenomenal. We raised a decent amount of money. We had a good night. We had a good time. Enough where people coming through were like, you got to do this. You got to do this again next year. What's up, David? I mean, they're literally in the moment of it. They're like, dude, you got to do this again next year. You cannot not do this. I know. We have no intention. So we are doing it October 25th, 5 to 9 at the fairgrounds, trunk or treat. I'm good, Shelly. Thank you. But first, we got the 4th of July on the 24th of July at the City Park. Another day of music, food, fun, and fireworks. That's coming up. And then we roll into August. School's going to start up. Football's going to start up. And we'll be doing football games on Friday night as normal. You got college football coming up to see what them Hoosiers are going to do. And then eventually professional football. And then you roll into September. You have all the concerts and everything going on Labor Day weekend. That's going to be a fun weekend. And then next thing you know, it's fall foliage, October 8th through the 11th out of the fairgrounds. That's where it's going to happen this year. And then a week or so later on the 25th, we have the trunk or treat out at the fairgrounds. And that wraps up. Then we'll head into the holidays. Of course, we have the Christmas event at the end of the year, but it just does speeding along. This year is for sure. One last check at this weather. Nothing severe in our area. As you can see, that front is sagging to the south. Let me back it out. That's the line. This is the oppressed heat that was killing us. And this is drier, less humid, cooler temps moving south. And as you can tell, Morgan County is just about all past its. A little bit of rain between us and Bloomington. But other than that, our temperatures should cool off quite a bit and the humidity should go away. From what I'm seeing, like I said, I'm not the weather guy, but I at least wanted to pass that along, and hopefully we have some decent temps over the next week or so, but nothing severe in our area or near us. And after this blows through tonight, nothing for the next few days. That's water, by the way. But I wanted to get on here, kind of reflect. I thought the fair was decent. I think the heat, more so than anything, kept people away. There were nights that I've never been hotter out there, and that was just insane. I don't know why that cab did not want to go back home. That was a couple of the hottest days that I've ever been out there. So I skipped Friday night, went back out for a little bit skipped Thursday night, went back out for a little bit Friday, and then today I just went over there and took my booth down. But we were there all week, interviewed probably 10 or so people, had a lot of fun, talked to several. It's always a good week, but always sad to see it go. Always sad to see it go. I thought the pork temp was phenomenal this year. Their pulled pork was delish, my favorite by far, over everything that I sampled. The donuts are always good. No matter how big, how small, whatever they do to them, they're always good. That's all I got. Don't forget, tomorrow between 1 and 5 at the Ball Diamonds, the Artisanal League are promoting and trying to raise money for the 16 and U state champions. These girls are state champions. They're going to the regionals in Lawrenceburg starting Tuesday night, and they need money. So if you can stop over and give $10, $20, whatever you got, bring it over tomorrow at the Ball Diamonds. They'll have a dunk booth, home run derby, all sorts of stuff going on, fun stuff. Concession stand will be open. Lon, I don't know how you guys do with animals. I mean, I would have had to sit underneath the sprinkler or the water and hosing them off in myself. It was brutal. I enjoyed more getting in the golf cart and driving around just to get the air moving than sitting there with a fan blowing right on me in the booth. I did have a lot of fun with She's Nuts, and it's not Rebecca, I forget who bought it out, but that gal and her nieces or granddaughters were in there, and I was teasing them all week. Had fun with them. Of course, Otis and Heroes Wildlife was in there. Had a good time with Otis. Gavin at Precision Clean, he was right down the way from us. And then Bailey's Monument was right next to us. And Allison is just as sweet as can be. Yeah, Mikey was set up in there. Hello, Stephanie. Mikey was set up in there all week. I saw him a couple times. Luke Jackson at Paragon Christian. Mr. Jarrett Kasinik was in there, spoke to him. Of course, Republican booth was in there. Fire Safety was in there. Rolanda, I guarantee I would have. There is no way. I would have been soaking wet all week. Spray the animal, spray myself. Spray the animal, spray myself. Hands down. Hello, Maryland. So I talked to quite a few of them. The young Marines were in there, talked to them. Of course, Turley and Christy Wood and her group over in the corner, spoke with them. Laux spoke with them. It's a good place, and I enjoyed. Always enjoy my time out there. Always enjoy my time. Aaron was there all week. I was like, wait a minute, I'm missing somebody across from Young Marines in Turley. I know the Tabernacle's over there normally, and Hunter's Honey Farm was there, and Aaron was there all week. They're always there. They've been a mainstay at that fair for as long as I can remember. I was trying to walk my way down. Larry Ralph, excuse me, American Basement Solutions, he's there always. Down by the Republican booth, across from Laux. across from the Tabernacle, Young Marines, and then on the other side, excuse me, you had a couple churches, you had the Dems, Fire Safety, Heroes Wildlife Adventure. Just a good group of folks. And and the Moore County Farmers Market people, Andrew and Brittany. Wow, I couldn't get to that. I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden. But there were some really good folks in this year, and we were all burning up. Every one of us was dying. But we made it. Lana says, I like your post earlier first. Lana, 100%. I said earlier on the show here tonight, Tim and I did everything we can to raise money as kids, because we were poor. I mean, at one time there were 7 of us kids living at home, and then there was 4. And Mom and Dad didn't have that kind of money. They never did. We didn't go to Florida. First time I ever went to Kings Island is after I was married. None of that stuff. We went camping in the summer for about 3 days, typically, and that was it. And so we did what we could to raise money as kids, and maybe Mom and Dad would throw $10, $20 in or something like that. And I was like, $10 back then, that's a lot of money as a kid. $20 to fill my gas tank up for the week, and I wouldn't have to put any gas in it in high school. Just to let you know. But they'd throw $10 to $20 in, and we'd have enough to go. We had to watch it, what we spent. You know, if we were going to ride rides, you had to go on the kiddie day when it was $10 a bracelet or whatever it was, $7 a bracelet back then. So you had to watch what you're getting. And then you always needed something to drink, so you knew that there was no bottled water and stuff like that was unheard of. I think there was water fountains, though. I think they had the old pumps going back then, and you could go and get a drink, because I think that's what we did. If there wasn't a hose hook to it, we would just go back there and crank open the water spouts and get a drink, the same ones they hook into now. Because there was no... We weren't going to go buy a Coke. There was no bottled water or anything like that. If I remember correctly. But we would go and we would have fun. We'd probably go 3 or 4 nights a week. Of course, one of the nights we would go would be bracelet night, where you could ride all the rides. And then there's some nights we go when we didn't have any money. Hello, Teresa. We'll just go and hang out. Have enough maybe to get a water or a pop, I mean. And that's it. But it was fun. It was fun to do. And we enjoyed it. And that was our fun. That was our fun for the summer, because typically football season and the school and the fair collided all at once. So boom, there it was. And we just lived over in St. Clair at the time. And ride our bikes or walk over to the fairgrounds. Cassie and her pop bottles, aluminum cans of pop bottles. You got it. Heck yeah. Hello, Tina. I said that. I was like, some of these kids that are reading this have no clue about the Coke bottles, taking them back for cash. But yeah, we cashed in our pop bottles and our aluminum cans, and in the winter we shoveled sidewalks and swept sidewalks and cut grass and did whatever we could to raise money for weeks at the fair, for the week at the fair. And we had a good time. And that's special to a lot of young kids out there that don't have a lot of money. They're not going to Florida. They're not going to Holiday World. They're not going to Disney World. The fair's it for a few years. And to me, that's important. And it always will be. We had fun. And then later in life, I said it changed, but not all the way, because I'd call him about 2 weeks out. Hey, are you going to be out there pulling security? Oh, what shit, I don't feel like doing that this year. I got too much stuff going on, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Then opening night, I'm at the booth. And I'd get a call, hey, we're going to Port 10 if you want to meet us over there. Of course you are. I'll be over there. It's good times. There you go. Look at that. Steve would show cows at 7 different county fairs, then hit state fair, and they pay milk cows and showed cows. Different times, my friend. Different kind of man. That's a lot of work right there. Lonnie, yes, he was. He was always there. That's a lot of work, Teresa. A lot of days in the sun. Yeah, he would complain about it, Lonnie, and I'd hear it. But he'd come over there and sit at the booth. We'd get water, have the fan blowing, then he'd be back, and he'd come back and walk around, him and his co-workers, and they'd come over and we'd crack some jokes and get them some water, and they'd head back out. And I talked to a couple of them. At the fair, and they're like, it's just not the same. And I said, I completely agree. Yeah, that was summer. Yeah. That's what we did in summer. I just had some corn. Larry Emge. You come home after that first day and you're like, oh, my hands have been like fighting Edward Scissorhand all day. They're just completely shredded and bloody. And did that every summer. Hated it, but enjoyed it. We had fun. It was hard work. My boys all did 10 years of 4-H. There you go. That's great for them. That's good stuff right there. Life lessons in that 4-H stuff. Yeah, we did corn detasseling. If we did, we had our own grass cutting business here in town. We were one of the first ones. We used to, if you guys remember, IB&T had the 3 banks. Right over here in Morgan, down on Main, and then in Paragon. We were the first grass cutting business in town, and it cut all 3 of them. What's up, Eric? Me and Timmy and Dad would drive us, and me and Timmy would do the work. We cut grass at all 3 of them to maintain the weeds and the drive-throughs and all that. Probably, Londa. I believe that. I know he would get involved in a cornhole game. Mr. Finn and him would do it. Hello, Tammy. Yeah, we did corn tasseling and had a ball with it. But we also had the grass cutting business, IB&T banks, and then we had 3 or 4 yards, and they were like all together on Pike Street. And then we took care of all of Charmin Estates and Grassy Fork. So we were busy. That's when we were a little older. Not living on St. Clair. Weather-wise, I think the heat is past us now. I'll go to my weather cam. That's the front. It's dropping to the south right here. This is the hot air that's been oppressing us for a week or so. This is a little cooler, drier, not as humid air. Listen to me sound like a weather person. And this front is sagging to the south. It looks like Morgan County is almost out of it. Our temperatures should reflect that tomorrow. Not as hot. And I would be happy for that. I just wish we could have had that type of weather all week at the fair. I bet you the numbers would have been incredible. But it was a good time. As I said, great time. What's up, Eric? Had a lot of decent ice cream from the MHS band with the strawberry shortcake. And of course, we had the shakes and the ice cream from the, is it Farm Bureau now? Ice cream booth, formerly of the Morgantown Volunteer Fire Department booth. I did eat a taco salad. I did not get sick from lettuce or anything like that. I did have some unbelievably delicious pulled pork sandwiches, and then they had the ribs this year, and they were phenomenal. Yeah, that smoke's been playing havoc on the images in the sky. That is for sure. Hello, Mr. Bell. Yeah, the strawberry shortcakes were phenomenal as always. The chocolate shakes were good. The vanilla the regular shakes, our ice cream was delicious as always. And I found a new fat kid trick. You go to She's Nuts, and she sells these little pieces of peanuts, stuff that was left over. It reminds me of the old days of Long John Silver, where you had all that extra fried stuff in the corner of your basket. These are them little pieces like that, and you put it with that ice cream. Game changer, I'm telling you. Next year, you make sure you do that. Complete game changer. I went and got a pack of that, and then went and got ice cream and just poured that whole thing in there and mixed it up. And it was awesome. The grilled tenderloin is so good. I should have tried that, Londa. There's Laura. How are you, Laura? I saw her a bunch out at the fair. Dog groomer extraordinaire right there. And she shows about every animal that's tied to the river. Her and her kids. It was hot. It is summertime in Indiana. We haven't even got the corn sweat season yet, but it was, hello Emma, it was hot. And hats off to everybody that works out there, and the 4-H kids and Arena and everybody involved. Laura, I bet you are, dear. Hello, Emma. I bet you Emma's tired too. Y'all work your butts off out there. Those strawberry shortcakes were phenomenal, and you were calling her juice with ice cream. That's what you put, Teresa. I cracked up on that, so I literally, you type LOL, but I literally LOL'd. That was so funny. The She's Nuts lady, I can't think of the name of the lady who bought it from, who runs it now. Bought it from Rebecca. Well, I bet you guys were. I don't know how you do it. I'm serious. I know as a kid I was talking to Corey. I was like, oh, one summer we added it up. We played 250 softball games. Now this is after the Army. I'm just a working stiff dad, married man, and still played 250 ball games one summer. I take that back. That was in between Army and getting married. I couldn't play 250 while I was married. Trust me, I'd have been divorced long before I did. But in heat like this, all weekend long. And I wasn't a drinker. I drank a lot of water. But I mean, out there in that heat all summer long, I was sitting there talking to Corey, I was like, how did we do that? I can't walk from here to the car without breaking a sweat and getting winded. It's just crazy. And now, sitting there in the booth with the fan blowing on me, I'm like, where's the oxygen? I hate the extremes. I hate the cold weather when it gets extreme, and I hate the heat and the humidity. Had the ribs, yeah, and the pork chops. The ribs were phenomenal, Mikey. The pork chops were good too, but the ribs were out of this world. I could not believe how tasty those ribs were. I almost went back and bought later in the evening when I know they're closing down, was going to buy the rest of them and take them dispatch, but I got to talking and didn't get a chance to, but I'd heard they pretty much sold out. The ribs are phenomenal, and I try to hit them every year. Strawberry shortcake is always good. That is delish. And it always will be. And the ice cream's good. Donuts were good. I can't drink the lemon shake up. Citric acid just kills me, so I don't mess with that. I didn't get an elk burger this year, and I didn't go to the beef tent, and that I apologize about. But, and I was going to try a piece of pizza, which I always do. The line was too long, and I didn't feel like standing out in the heat because I felt like I was going to pass out. Lonnie, exactly. 65-70 is perfect. Caitlin says, our fair was wonderful, so thank for our community. Thank you, Caitlin. I agree 100%. Hello, Heidi. It was wonderful. The food drive, they had 3/4 of that trailer filled up. Amy Runkle and all of them were over there. It was an oven there. Oh, it was, Mike, it was brutal. You had a little bit of a breeze every now and then, but not much. I almost went and bought an industrial-sized fan just to set in front of me. I think I had 6 tenderloins this week. You didn't even share. I see how you are. Thanks, Laura. I'll remember that. I've had one before, and I keep forgetting they have those. And I'm a pork guy. I can go over there. I can ignore every other booth there, maybe except the ice cream, and get pork every night. Me too, Mikey. Their pulled pork this year was, and I'm a pulled pork, slap a piece of cheese on it, put some pickles and onions, mustard, mayo, and I'm good. Blaze, where are you at? Might have nearly killed me with all of my open class injuries and then birthday party day, but we made it. Yeah, Caitlin, you got to be busy. That's crazy. Oh, the pork tent. I don't know how you guys do that. All those showing the animals and taking care of the animals and doing that. That's just part of your day. You got everyday life and families and living and humidity and heat and crazy. You're in Wilmington. Blaze, you're gonna like this. And we're gonna, not that I know you already know. Blaze, there's that front. There's drier, cooler, less humid, beautiful, God's gift air. This is Satan's behind right here. All the heat and humidity. Wilmington, North Carolina. Is that what he said? Yeah, Wilmington, NC. There's Virginia. That's South Carolina. Virginia Beach. So we got to be over here somewhere, right? Where's Wilmington at? Talk to me. I've never been to Wilmington. We're trying. I'm ignoring people. What's up, Anthony? Cattle Barn has lots of fans blowing, so it was okay, but sitting in the show arena was hot. Yes. We had 7 animals down there this year. Woo! Not a chance, Laura. I know, I see them big fans, and I'm like, I want to go in there. Okay, that's South Carolina. Hello, Casey. Northeast, or Southeast North Carolina. I got to be close. All right, wait a minute. There's Virginia. There's South Carolina. So you got to be down in here. Oh, right here. What am I looking at? Yeah. All right, Blaze. You're good weather-wise. That's what I was doing. Well, you might get some. I don't know if this is coming at you or not, but you're good. And there he is. There's the hero. Everybody right now, I want you to put your hands together for the one and only Mr. Seth Ringer. God love him. Hello, Casey. Getting a little vacation in before we moved to Corden. We bought a house. So you're on our side of the river? For real now? Not that you weren't. Well, congrats. Or is that Kentucky? No, you're on our side, yeah. You've been on our side. You worked on the other side. Well, congrats, Blaze. Seth, God love you, buddy. I saw you 2 nights ago, and it looked like you'd lost 30 pounds, and your hair was more gray than mine. Good night, Blaze. Be safe. Enjoy North Carolina. It's a good man right there. Fireman, weather chaser, wind seeker. All right, Seth. How you feeling? Tears were shed inside my robe after I said God is. I'm surprised you didn't stop by on your way through. That may have been you 10 minutes ago. Boom. What's up, JC? Hello, darling. It's over there. There's lots of you on here. Emma was on here. Laura was on here. Lana's on here. Caitlin was on here. Lots of fair folks. Fever's ahead 102 to 80. Thank you, Lana. Seth, you did it, buddy. It's a good week. Every day I was there, I drove back there. Strict light. I bet you were. I drove back there every day I was there and checked on my little buddy. and of course, Mr. Sanders shows up. Yes, of course, Matt. This is where you have the right to complain, and we have the right to ignore it. Fire away. Seth, I'm proud of you guys, man. I don't know how you do it in that heat. I know it is over. It's bittersweet. I posted last night about it. It's a bittersweet thing. I know one side of me was saying, "Dear Lord, please let this be the last day of the fair so Seth can go home and sleep in his own bed and not dream of going back." Hello, Joyce. Hello, Veronica. And the other side was, "Dear Lord, extend the fair 3 more weeks for us." Hello, Julie. I don't think anyone has a right to complain about our fair. There you go. Caitlin has spoken. Caitlin has spoken. I have not stopped sweating for 8 days. There you go. Still have the state fair if you need it. Exactly, Matt. I look for the balloon day. I think that's the greatest day of all when they do that. Seth, hopefully you showered for at least 7 of those 8. Best week of the whole year. There you go. I'm with you. I agree. He even came back there. Seth was fired up one day. I was back there, and he yelled at me because I didn't have a bracelet on. I was in the pits, and he tried kicking me out, and then he kind of shook it off. And he was like, "I'm sorry, I need to sleep." Prove it's not the same as the county fair. It is not. The state fair doesn't have that feel to me. It's massive. Doesn't have that hometown texture. That hometown feel. So that's our cow's poop we smell. That's our pig poop we smell. Yep, Mike, you carried the torch for your group. That is for sure. That's our duck poop we smell. And we do. We smell it. I was driving around it all week, getting big old whiffs. I agree, Laura. 100%. That's our Seth. That's our little yellow shirted Seth running around there with tears in his eyes because he's overjoyed at the fun that everyone's having. Oh, he knows I'm messing with him. He's a good man. Better man than me. And he has a wife that's a saint. And he knows it. and an adorable baby. Good times, my friends. What time is it? 10:30. I need to go home and put my Spider-Man onesie on and go to bed. I want a motorcycle down the road without any lights on it. Not smart. Maybe he's getting ready to turn them on. Let's hope. It'd be not a fun way to end your evening. Well, y'all, I will be out at Artesian Little League tomorrow, bringing awareness to the 16U state champion girls. Caitlin says, my husband has a wife that is a saint as well. There you go. Damn right, Caitlin. I'll be there. I appreciate the water you gave me. I needed it after making my way through the anabolic crutches. You as well, Teresa. Yeah, Matt, you looked like you needed the water, my friend. And I was happy to have an extra. And I don't know how you hurt your leg, but I hope that goes away quick. Tomorrow at Artesian Little League, we'll be there in support of the 16U state champs. Going to regionals down in Lawrenceburg starting Tuesday night. They're there all week. It's going to cost them about $15,000. We're trying to promote as much as we can to see how much money we can raise to them before they go. If you want to make a donation, stop over there. They have a dunk booth. They have a home run derby. They have a bunch of other stuff going on. The concession stand is going to be open. I'm going to go there and go live for a little bit to bring awareness to it. Hopefully it won't be as hot. Hopefully it'll be a great day tomorrow for them, and I hope they raise enough money, at least help the families out that are footing the bill on this. A phenomenal girls team, by the way. I tried for 12 years to win a state title, and we got second and fourth with some phenomenal players. These girls are beating the brakes off of teams, 16-0, 15-2. They got a pitcher that struck out 37 kids in 3 innings. In 3 games, I mean. Unbelievable team. So they got power, they got speed, they got pitching, they got hitters. They got a hitter batting 787 and 4 kids over 500. Well, if you know anything about softball or baseball, that's incredible. So if they were close, I'd go watch them. But I don't feel like driving to Greensburg or Lawrenceburg on a Tuesday night. But they win this, they go to Delaware, and the games are on ESPN. So who knows? They go to the World Series. So we're trying to raise some money. If you can, stop over there. Throw in $10. Throw in $20. If you got it. If not, I completely understand. Hello, Sophia. Anyway, y'all, love you guys. Appreciate your support. I did something weird this year, and I'll make this the end of it here. I didn't hang my banner. I sat there with my shirt on and my logo. I had more people come up and go, what do you guys do? Instead of walking by, looking at me, looking at the banner and going, oh, porch time, and they keep going. I had more people come up this year and go, what's your booth about? And I'd say, we're porch time. And 9 times out of 10, the reply was, oh, I saw your Bible for Dummies, or oh, you do weather. And then we'd start talking. Thought it was interesting. I wanted to try that. I don't know if we'll go that route next year. But I had more engagements this year with individuals than I ever have. And we're not there to engage. We're there to cover stuff, socialize, maybe pick up a sponsor here or there, talk about our sponsors, get people on air, and just go about our business normal. So we have a business, but it's not a business that we're selling a product that we're going to hand you. So that's kind of a weird deal. But I like engaging with new folks and people that ask what we do. And so many stopped by and said, oh, yeah, Mr. Weather Guy, Bibles for Dummy, you guys cover football, things like that. I thought it was interesting. Without the banner, without no information about who we were, but us just sitting there. So, and of course, several came through that knew us and we talked anyway. But it's the ones that don't know you that I was trying to engage with, and it kind of worked. So, love you guys. Have a great rest of your Saturday night. Hopefully the temperatures start dropping, humidity goes away. Turn that fan on, and I'm going to be sleeping like a baby. I might even get up and go get me some Excellent Day or Early Bird tomorrow. Love you guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much for supporting us. I can't tell you that enough. That means the amount of support we get and the positive words we get from folks in this community keeps us going. And when you tell myself or Corey or Beth that stuff, we share it and we tell people, hey, so-and-so said this. Because we like hearing that stuff. We like knowing we're making a difference in our community. That keeps us going, guys. Love you guys. Have a great night. And I'll be on tomorrow afternoon over the Diamonds. We'll see you tomorrow.